Hey, this is Jeff, and welcome back to the no-kill run of the Fallout 3 DLC. We started with Operation Anchorage for two reasons. It was the easiest to mod. In fact, it turned out you can complete it without killing anything in the vanilla game, but I added an optional feature to prevent anything you do kill in the simulation from counting towards people killed or creatures killed on your Pip-Boy stats screen. Because, it's a simulation. Nobody actually dies. The other reason was the Chinese stealth suit, which will be pretty much essential to the rest of the run. We did Point Lookout next, which is a good in-game segue. Through the base game, Luz joined at least 3 different cults. She'd say she incorporates elements of various sects into her own personal philosophy. Her journey of personal growth took an interesting turn in Point Lookout when finding and disposing of the Kruvekna piqued her interest in the influence of the paranormal on our world. It didn't have a big impact on her directly, but it reminded her of an otherworldly broadcast she picked up on her Pip-Boy shortly after leaving the vault. Aliens have to be easier to interact with and understand than cosmic abominations we can't even fully perceive, much less comprehend. And a civilization advanced enough for interplanetary travel must be wise and benevolent, right? I don't think I've ever approached the crash site from this direction. I usually start at Chaz's party shack, but Pam is the only mod I have active for this run, and I don't have a map marker for Reclining Groves. I just started from Oasis because that's where I did the outro for the last episode, and I only had one closer map marker anyway. It was Vault 92, and I didn't want to start there because it's a bit too close to Old Olney, and thar be Deathclaws. Didn't remember the radiation zone around the ship being that big, but there it is. An honest-to-goodness flying saucer. We'll see it better when we get around this rock. Whoa, an anti-gravity beam or something. Very advanced. This is so cool. I'm actually being abducted by aliens. I should have done this during daylight. You get a nice view of the wasteland from up here. And now we'll get a little cutscene on board the alien ship. I must have passed out from lack of oxygen or something. Don't worry, I'm okay. Oh, I've heard about this part. Hey, watch where you put that.
Hey, you okay? You all right? About time you woke up. I was starting to think maybe they'd fried your brains or something. You got a headache, right? Don't worry, that'll get better. I don't know if it'll matter, but it'll get better. They must really like you. At least they let me keep my clothes. Looks like they stripped you of everything.
This is pretty much exactly what Luz expected, so she's neither incredulous nor afraid. Go with the perfectly reasonable, who are you, and what are you doing here?
Me? I'm the same as you, I figure. Went poking around someplace I shouldn't have, and now I'm paying for it. So you and me, we're stuck here until they decide they want to prod us some more or worse. Man, I can't believe this. This is what you call, what is it, irony? Hell, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question. Who are you, and why are you in here with me?
You've got it all wrong, kid. You're in here with me. This is my little slice of heaven, not yours. Not a good time for jokes, I guess. Look, I don't know why they put you in here with me. Maybe it's another experiment. Not like I can ask them to find out. But since you asked, name's Somah. Beyond that, I'm thinking not much matters if we're gonna stay stuck in here.
Good point. How do we get out?
I've been here for a little while, but haven't found a way to... Shit. You hear that? It's coming again. Get back against the wall now.
What's coming? Why are you so worried? She's looking at the ceiling. Big claw of some kind.
Well, at least it wasn't coming for us.
Dude, relax. They probably just want to talk to you. If they have a universal translator or something, it's not going to work if you're freaking out too bad to give it a good vocabulary sample.
We gotta get out of here. I'm thinking maybe now you can understand. It's a good idea to get the hell out of here.
I know, right? That guy is 100% not going to make a good ambassador to an alien intelligence. So, how do we get out?
Okay, yeah. Let's do something about getting out. Well, there ain't no easy way out. Trust me. I've looked. Can't even find anything to pry open. See what's blocking the doorway. I'm thinking they did us a favor, putting us together in here like this. And I say we use it to our advantage.
You have a plan, or are you just making this up?
Yeah, a little of both. It always worked for me in the past. No reason to second guess it now.
Same here. What's your plan?
They want us alive for something. Who knows what? Point is, if it looks like one of us is gonna kill the other, they'll step in to stop it. So that's what we do. We throw a few punches, make it look real, and then jump them when they come in to break it up.
Let's not be so hasty on the whole jump 'em bit, but you're probably right about them not wanting us to hurt each other. Think it'll work?
It's worth a try. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing changes. Only we've got a few more bruises. Big deal. Let's give it a shot. I promise. I'll go easy on you.
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right. Good girl. Now, let's not get too rough here, okay? Gotta make it look good, but don't want to do any serious damage.
And here's the first mod feature. Normally you only get the first two options at the end of that conversation, but now there's a third. The jailbreak sequence doesn't technically require the player to kill anything, but the aliens that come to investigate have to die before you get the next quest objective. It proceeds normally if you let her kill them, but if you don't help, she's virtually guaranteed to die. This option buffs her a bit to prevent that, which, as has been the case many times, was more complicated than I expected. I'll explain why when we get into the technical details at the end. Anyway. Okay, but I'm a pacifist. How about you just pretend to murder me?
All right, I'll hold back on you. Make sure you don't get too roughed up, okay?
It's actually pretty easy to get through this without taking any damage. Just do laps around the cell until the aliens show up. Ow. The downside of the mod is her punches hurt a lot worse than they do in the unmodded game. Damn it, Somah! I don't know how many times I've played this DLC, but I'm guessing I've probably done it at least 3 or 4 times without actually fighting her, and she's never managed to hit me. Until now, when I have people watching.
We're really fighting now, aren't we?
Oh, that's not good. Besides the base damage buff, the mod adds a bit of fatigue damage to her punches to help prevent her from getting dogpiled when the aliens show up. If I don't recover... Oh! Well, Somah, I hope you make it. And my last save is outside Oasis. Great. Well, see you on the other side. Let's try that again.
All right, I'll hold back on you. Make sure you don't get too roughed up, okay?
I actually quit and tweaked the mod so her buffs don't apply if her target is the player. As amusing as that was, she did say she'd go easy on us.
Yeah, we're really fighting now, aren't we?
Anyway, as I was about to say when I was so rudely interrupted by the Grim Reaper, Luce will quickly find out when the aliens show up that they are not, in fact, friendly.
Okay, now aim for the head.
And of course, this time I do it without taking a single hit. Let's not get hit by the aliens.
Tear them up.
Sometimes the knockdown disarms them. Yeah, it did. Actually, I think that one's already dead. But once she picks up a stun baton, it's all over. Nothing to do with the mod, it's just obviously better to have a weapon than your bare hands.
Take them out! Grab anything useful and let's go. Who knows how long it'll be before they send more after us.
Don't let your guard down. Another wave comes through the door at the end of the hall in a second. There they are. Somah, you're up. I'll have to test that some more later to make sure the don't knock the player down code works right. I dropped a save right after the claw scene just in case it didn't work and I died again, but we should be good at this point. Just run around until she takes care of it. One down. When she kills the last one, we can move forward, but there's an audio log in this room I don't want to forget. There are alien terminals all over the ship that have recordings of previous abductees. I'm pretty sure this is the one we want. Not going to grab them all, but that one's important because it unlocks otherwise inaccessible dialogue with Somah later. Assuming I got the right one.
Oh, no way. No way! This is a bad dream, right? I'm dreaming. Shit. So what? I'm being held hostage now or something? I'm some kind of prisoner? Listen, if this is because of what we did, I just work for those guys, okay? It's not like I enjoyed it. I was just in it for the caps, all right? Can I go now? Yeah, I know.
There's also a Rivet City security guard here who's a bit traumatized and is sadly going to be stuck here forever since I don't have Quo Vadis active. There she is.
Nope. Nope. Not real. None of it is real. It can't hurt me if it's not real.
But either way, there's no way to get her to help you escape or anything. So let's move on and find somebody who can. There's a dead Enclave officer in this one, but I don't think he has anything useful. No. Well, the uniform might be better than no armor at all. These healing arches restore health up to like 3/4, but we're already above the threshold. If you have good repair skill, you can modify them to do a full heal, but then they only have a limited number of uses before they burn out. It might be science, not repair. Not sure. That door was the way we need to go, but we can only unlock it in here.
Hello? Hi! Hi there! Listen, can you let me out of here?
What the hell is this thing? What are we supposed to do with it?
You have to shut that off to open the door here. Well, not really shut it off. More like blow it up. If you turn off the coolant, it'll get really hot and then explode. So be careful, okay?
The generator she's talking about is down here. They're all over the ship, and they all work the same. Use the main control to unseal it. That exposes 3 coolant switches, and you need to turn them all off. Just click on them, and they go back down. But now they're not pumping any coolant. And when you activate the last one, get some distance, the explosion is no joke if you're inside the radius. When they start to spark and glow, they're about to go off. Any minute. And now Sally's cell door is open, so let's talk to her. Actually, I'm going to drop another save here.
Thanks! Are you escaping? Do you want to see the rest of this place? I've seen a bunch. I can show you if you want.
Okay, kid, lead the way.
Great!
Now she'll run out to the door we really need to use, which blowing up the generator still didn't unlock, but she crawls into a vent and disappears.
Oh, great. Well, so much for that idea. She suckered you good, huh?
Maybe not. Give her a minute. There she is. So cynical.
See? I told you I could help.
How did you do that?
There's wires and stuff inside the wall there. A while ago, I learned which ones to put together to make the doors work. There's all kinds of stuff in the walls, but I guess you're too big to see. But that's okay. I can get to it just fine. Come on, we need to get to the big engine room so I can show you the rest of this place. I can help you even more.
How do you know so much about this place?
Oh, I've been here a while. A long while. Sometimes I can sneak out of my cell and go explore. I've seen a bunch of the ship. It's pretty neat. But they always catch me and put me back here.
Yeah, Luz's illusions about more advanced civilizations being more civilized are pretty much completely shattered at this point. Do you know where we're going?
Sure. We need to go to the big engine thing, and then from there we can go up to the top of the ship. That's where the guy in charge is. I've only seen him once or twice, but he's extra mean. I guess you'll probably have to kill him or something, huh?
Nope. They might be jerks, but I don't even kill raiders back home, so let's get going.
Okay, come on!
Now, in a minute, there's something weird. Not that being abducted by aliens isn't already weird, but I mean in a meta sense. DLC is notorious for taking your stuff. Like, in Operation Anchorage, it's necessary for plot reasons, and you don't get it back until you exit the simulation. The Pit does it to ramp up the challenge, and you don't get it back until the second act, so you can have all your best toys for the big conflict at the end. Mothership Zeta, though, it takes your stuff, throws one wave of enemies at you, and gives it right back before you're ever forced to use any of the alien weapons or items. Which, this was the last DLC released for Fallout 3, so maybe it was intentional to subvert your expectations. Like, oh great, another one that steals my stuff. And 5 minutes later, the game's like, psych, here you go. Whatever the case, things should be a lot less hectic now that we can have the stealth suit back. And believe it or not, there are ghouls aboard, so put on the ghoul mask too. These other containers have other prisoners' stuff. As we'll see shortly, the grenades are there for a specific purpose. Well, apparently the aliens are not hostile to Sally. Interesting. This switch opens the way forward, over there. Let's talk to Somah again. They definitely are hostile to her, so if we can get them within detection range of each other, she'll kill it.
We gotta get out of here. Listen, I know how this shit works. We all go together, and we all get wiped out at the same time. No offense, but I'm gonna hang back for a bit. You need someone to keep an eye out behind you anyway. Don't worry, I'll catch up with you soon enough.
Seems fair.
You want to get to the control room, right? Well, then you need to see the engine room first. I know how to get there.
Okay, let's go.
I'll stay right with you.
Or we can just leave Somah and the alien here to sort it out later. No need to provoke a fight on purpose if they're not going to start one themselves. And now the steam works. A lot of the side rooms have loot. The steam doesn't actually hurt in defiance of video game convention.
Wait here for a second. There's more of them coming.
And as you can see on the compass, there are. Well, they're not marked as hostile. Interesting.
I guess they're already looking for us. I can sneak past them in the vents, but you're too big to fit. We'll have to figure out how to get around.
There was a suggestion in the comments that giving Sally a grenade should increment creatures killed on your Pip-Boy. Well, turns out the vanilla game already does that. Interesting story there, but I'll talk about it when I get into the technical details at the end. Anyway, while Luce is no stranger to being protected in a pinch by people who aren't pacifists, she sees no reason for violence here. How about we both sneak around them?
Okay. Well, good luck. I'm going to get out of sight. Don't worry, I'll stay nearby and help when I can.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, I could have done that for you. I'm only trying to help.
Huh. Well, that's what she says if you do give her a grenade, but then move forward before she uses it. Or if you move forward before she hides in the vent, apparently. Although in that case, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Wait, I think there are more coming down the hall. Just stay here, and I'll try and get this door open for you.
Ordinarily, this is pretty tense.
Maybe it's this other wire.
She takes her time, but with the stealth suit, they won't see us. They're not even coming down here.
There it is. Go on, get in. Phew. That was a close one.
And there's another one in here. You know, as much as I appreciate Sally, opening a way where we would ordinarily only have to fight one enemy instead of a whole bunch out in the corridor, if we're doing this pure sneaking, there's no way we can get around that guy without bumping into him. I think it's probably going to be better to go out in the big hallway. Yeah. It just patrols back and forth. It doesn't actually come into the room, so I don't think there's any way to get by it. Alien crystals. Of course loses into crystals. There are other unique items as well. There's a alien epoxy, which is like a weapon repair kit in New Vegas, and biogel.
There are still a few to your right. If you can, I don't know if it'll work on your left, but you could try it.
Apparently doing things out of order confuses the game a little bit, since two of Sally's dialogue lines just played over top of each other there, but she was telling us about the healing arches.
Oops, I didn't see those two. There's a door on the left I can open, though. You should try and go that way. Sorry.
I think we're going to run into the same problem here. Sally opens a shortcut or a way that requires, less combat, but oh no. Oh, if we get cornered in here between two of them, that would not be good, because if they bump into us, we're in a world of hurt. But yeah, we're actually going to have a much better chance of sneaking around them in here where there's more room to move instead of that narrow little stairwell. So I am not going to go the way Sally opened for us.
Don't worry about those aliens. They won't hurt you. You should just leave them alone, okay? No reason to be mean to them.
Don't worry, I will not be mean to those aliens.
Go a different way, so you'll be by yourself for a while. Don't worry, I'll catch up. Be careful.
Okie doke. It's always interesting to debate ethics, but in my opinion, most of the PAM accountability features are black and white cases of the game getting it wrong, where the player either isn't responsible for a death but the count on your Pip-Boy goes up, or they are responsible but the count doesn't. Like going with a slasher solution to Tranquility Lane, literally no one dies, but if you use the failsafe, everybody dies. Oh, that's actually a pretty serious problem, because I don't know if there is any place in here that we can get back to hidden. I mean, I have an embarrassing number of stim packs, but which, of course, were unhotkeyed because our equipment was taken, but well, there's a healing arch. We got to see them work.
I'm back again.
Yeah, 300 stim packs, 3,000 stim packs, it doesn't matter because there's really no place we can go. I don't know how many of them are behind me right now, but it's like, I don't know, a dozen, maybe more. Crystals. Not the time. Oh. Oh boy. Well, you know what? Given how the AI pathing is sketchy sometimes, they might have trouble finding us if, you know, you jump over a rail because they have to use the stairs. Oh, we're back to caution. If we get away with this, I am going to laugh. Might be a while because they're probably running around on the catwalk right over top of us, but the fact that we're not in danger is a good sign. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. I was talking about accountability features. You know, the prank... Oh, back to hidden. Nice! That is amazing. All right, be a little more careful. How many of them are gonna walk? I hope they go back. I mean, if they all go back to where they chased us from, the way forward should be pretty much clear. Unbelievable. Anyway, some of the accountability features are places where, you know, it's kind of trolley problem territory. Like, if you give Colonel Autumn the wrong code, are you responsible for the soldier who dies on the other end of the intercom? The Lone Wanderer has no reason to think he'll do anything other than give him a bad password screen, maybe lock him out of the system. So those options aren't enabled by default, only if you have strict accountability turned on. But apparently, the game designers of Mothership Zeta were on the same page when it comes to giving Sally a grenade. It's certainly a more solid case than giving Colonel Autumn the wrong code. A lawyer could legitimately claim that was negligence or manslaughter at worst, definitely not murder. But even if it's your first time playing the game, there's obviously at least the possibility that somebody's gonna die if you start handing out grenades. Maybe Sally takes the murder rap, but you're on the hook for accessory and maybe conspiracy. Neither of which are crimes tracked on your Pip-Boy, but the game doesn't track murder, it tracks people killed. Even clear-cut cases of self-defense. They were cannibal raiders, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll show you what I found. If you want to get out of here, I think it'll help. Come on, follow me. Aw, nuts. They turned it off! Last time I was here, I used this to get to the top of the ship. It's kind of like an elevator, only it doesn't just go up and down. Feels sort of tingly, too. They must be pretty angry that we're exploring. Oh, I know! Come on, I know another way up.
The room where we got caught, there's an encounter with Sally. She'll come out after you've killed all the aliens, but we didn't get that because we didn't kill all the aliens, so it wasn't safe. But fortunately, she did catch up when we got to engineering. Now she wants to show us the cryo.
So, this is it. Pretty neat, huh? I never had the courage to wake them up, but I think you're going to need to. The spaceman has a suit, and we need him to use it.
Why do we need a spaceman to help us?
Well, because he's got a spacesuit. Can't go out in space without one. And if we're going to escape, we need to go outside. If they turn out the elevator things, that's the only other way to go. So we need a suit. See? Simple.
What are these things?
I've seen these all over. They put people in them, and the people go to sleep. They stay asleep for a really long time, too. Be careful if you touch them, though. They're really cold.
Who are these people?
I don't know. I've never talked to them. Sometimes I'd come and look at them and wonder why they're dressed like that. You see that one guy? He has this really neat suit on, like armor or something. And that other guy? He looks just like a cowboy. I saw pictures of cowboys in books. I never saw a real one, though.
Okay, let's talk to the astronaut.
This is going to be so neat!
But this is a good place to save and call it a day, so we can let them out next week. Hey, I've seen armor like that before. In Anchorage simulation. If you bail out when I start talking about technical stuff, don't forget to like the video before you go, subscribe and turn on notifications if you haven't already, and leave a comment if you have questions or suggestions. As I said when I was playing, if you don't help Somah kill the aliens during the jailbreak, she's virtually guaranteed to die. Overriding her dialogue and giving her a buff in the result script of the new topic is the same as we've seen dozens of times in previous mod features. It just took a bit of trial and error to find the right combination of buffs to make the fight seem tense. The first thing I tried was just setting her essential flag so she couldn't die, which worked, but it was comical. She'd chip away at the aliens' hit points until they knocked her unconscious. I'd keep running around the level to avoid them until she recovered, rinse and repeat until they were dead. But it seriously took like 10 times before she finished them off. So rather than set her essential, I set her as a ghost. The terminology is a holdover from Oblivion, but it just means she doesn't take any damage from attacks or bonus effects. That kept her from going unconscious, but it still took a ridiculously long time for her to kill all of the aliens. Buffing her unarmed skill didn't cut it, so instead I gave her a new weapon, Somah's fists. There are other ways I could have made her more effective at hand-to-hand combat, but they're complicated. More complexity means more to go wrong, so I did it the easy way. Somah's fists are an unarmed weapon. I started with a copy of the brass knuckles, which is why the list of items you can repair them with is the same. They're not unplayable, and NPC weapons don't degrade with use, but you have to put something in there. They also do the same damage as brass knuckles, so it doesn't take her forever to deal with the aliens, but she can't one-shot them. The fun bit is the object effect. The object effect is pretty simple. One base effect, which is script type, all very similar to the taser fist so far. The script itself works differently. I didn't want it to automatically ragdoll an enemy on any hit, so instead it damages their fatigue, specifically by slightly more than a third of whatever their base fatigue is. I didn't use a fixed value because I wanted her to be equally effective regardless of how game difficulty is set. Damaging it by slightly less than half their base value means the first 2 hits will appear normal, with a brief knockdown on the third, and then with subsequent hits they'll stay down longer. All of which feels really natural, while still being dead simple to implement. And as I discovered earlier, I needed to add an if statement so she doesn't deal fatigue damage to the player. Would have been less embarrassing to find that during my initial testing, but it's better than not finding it at all. And it probably made the video funnier, so it's all good. The final touch is back on the Art and Sound tab of the Weapon Object screen. Most weapons have a 3D model with extra nodes that are used by weapon animations, firing a ranged weapon or swinging a melee weapon. Unarmed weapons are the exception. They're defined in the GEC as armor add-ons, like the brass knuckles here, and get assigned to one or both of the armor slots for hands. Those armor add-ons are put in a form list, and you pick that form list on the Weapons Art and Sound tab. But If you select none for the armor list, then the game just uses whatever hand model it's currently using, either base hands or gloves, depending on what you're wearing. It's exactly what we want. Now, about the Sally grenade scenario. This is kind of embarrassing, but we've already got a Jeff is a doofus theme going on, so in for a penny, in for a pound. The suggestion to bump the player's kill count if you give Sally a grenade was obviously a good idea, so I just went ahead and implemented it. Dialogue override, config menu, the whole 9 yards. I was debating whether just bumping up the kill count in the dialogue result script was good enough, or if I needed a separate monitor script to check their who killed me flag. See, Sally doesn't actually throw a grenade, or even have one added to her inventory when it's removed from yours. There's a trigger zone with a script that handles the grenade sequence. If you try to sneak around the corner before she's ready, it cancels her attack and plays the line of dialogue we heard earlier. I was going to help, you know. So in theory, you can't kill them yourself after you give her one. But in practice, I'm not 100% convinced that you couldn't bounce a second grenade around the corner and kill them yourself before the vanilla script spawns an explosion and does it. So I went back and looked at the vanilla script, and that's when I discovered the game already does that. So now I need to strip out all the stuff I added. Wile E. Coyote, super genius. And that's it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.